Yeah, might need that off there.
All right, so it's Adam, Baltimore Comic Con. I'm here with Doug Wagner. I've spoken about him before. He is the writer on the ride.
That is correct.
And you work with different artists.
Yes.
And they're kind of like, it's like almost a compilation of artists, I guess, that you work with. What I read had the Savannah Institute of Art. Is that what it is?
SCAD, Savannah College
Art and
of
Design.
Design, yes.
Okay, and is that who you always work with, or do you?
No, normally I work with Brian Stelfreeze and Cully Hamner, Jason Pearson, the guys that are part of 12 Gauge Comics.
Okay.
SCAD was actually a special class that we had with them, where we gave them a script, and they turned it into a class, and their students actually drew the book, and then we had to pick the winners of each chapter.
So they did that as a class. That was an actual class.
It was an actual class. I actually got credit for it.
That's amazing. That's the one that I read.
Okay, yeah.
That's not out here, is it?
No, that was the ride Savannah.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that was excellent.
Yeah,
and I really, really enjoyed that. And I think the artists that I guess they were chosen, you chose which artists, or which ones would go into that story, because in the back there's like a compilation of the other artists.
The problem we ran into is, we didn't realize all the students were going to be so good.
Yeah.
So when we got all the samples back, we were like, we didn't know exactly who to choose.
Yeah.
Because there were so many good ones to choose from. So it was a really tough decision to pick who was going to be in each chapter.
I think the ones chosen were well chosen.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely enjoyed all the art in that, and I enjoyed a lot of it in the back too when I flipped through it.
And the good thing is all three of them are now professional in the industry
already.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It was great.
That's quite a jump start.
Oh yeah, it was nice.
That's got to feel good too, as the writer of those stories, to have been able to do that. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the ride?
Well, the ride basically is a comic that follows the lives that come in contact with a particular '68 Camaro. So it can be anything. It can be a love story. It can be a crime story. Most of them, of course, we deal with crime and action. We like a little, guns and bullets and chicks and cars. So, that's basically what the ride's about.
Okay. And being that I only read that to the Savannah one, so that was the car, I guess, when he drove to Savannah.
Yes, that was a '68 Camaro that he drove to Savannah to follow the daughter.
Okay, and I guess, how long has the ride been around in general?
3 years.
3 years now.
Yep, we've been putting it out for 3 years.
Okay, so the special that I read has a whole lot of backstory that I need to catch up on.
Yes, if you enjoyed that one, you're going to love the rest of them, because that definitely was a kind of a mid-story in the middle of the whole ride. I'll
probably understand a little bit more. I'll be able to go back and read that one and go, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
that's
exactly,
excellent. Excellent. Is this pretty much what you work on, is the ride? Are you writing anything else?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm working on right now. It's just the ride. Doing a little stuff in the movies right now, but I love comics, so I'm not going anywhere from comics. So I love doing the ride, and I love 12 Gauge Comics, so that's where I'm going to stay.
Yeah, we at Heroes Con last summer, we interviewed some of the 12 Gauge guys when Rosario was there, and we talked about the OCT and things like that. And it was pretty cool to talk to them. They're amazing guys. It's a great company.
All of them. David, Tony, and Rosario are all great people. I've gotten to work with all three of them, and Rosario's down to earth, great to work with. Tony and David are great guys too. So they're a great team.
And great artists.
Yep.
Yeah. So most of the art on this is done by.
The majority of this is done by Brian Stelfreeze.
Okay.
I remember him from Domino. He's done, he did Shadow the Back covers for like 50 straight up issues or something like that.
Okay.
And he's more recently he did a Midnighter issue, which if you haven't picked that one up, it's incredible.
Okay. I'm trying to think of which one that was. I've been buying Midnight. I have all of them. So
it was written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray, which you can't go wrong with those guys either.
Right.
And then Brian did all the artwork in it.
Okay.
And it's an awesome issue.
I'm trying to remember which one that one was.
It was the one with, I think it had zombies and stuff in it.
Oh, on the space station.
Yeah, on the space station.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely. Yeah, that was an excellent.
Yeah,
issue.
that was an awesome issue.
Yeah, the art in that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess back to you. Where are your roots?
My roots, actually, I'm from Florida.
Okay.
Originally, South Florida. So I grew up next to the ocean. So, I'm kind of like, I grew up being a surfer bum.
Okay.
Then past that, my dad was in the Army, so I moved around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've written since I was, ever since I can remember. I've always sat down and just written stories, made up stuff. And, now I'm getting paid for it, which is great.
I wish I could say the same. How did you get involved in comics in general?
I always loved comics as a kid. They're a great escape, especially when you're a kid. Probably my favorite was the X-Men back then. I got hooked on the John Byrne, Chris Claremont run, and from there on, I was addicted. And then basically, I've been good friends with Cully Hamner since high school, and he kind of got me started, and he's like, hey, you're writing all the time, why don't we write something together, do a story? And that's where it all began, and since then, I've just been writing and loving comics and working in that kind of stuff.
What is it, you mentioned the X-Men, anything else you read still, or do you have time to read?
Yeah, I mean, I love comics. I mean, I love them all, so I read, there's several DC titles. Right now I love Frank Cho's art and Lionel Francis Yu. I love both of their art. So the Avengers stuff they're doing, I can't wait to touch that.
I just wish it came out a little bit more often.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all have, I can't say I'm perfect record, as far as hitting deadlines. So I can understand what those guys go through.
Excellent. That's all I could think.
That's fine.
I think I had another question, but I can't remember what it was. But I'm really good at forgetting things. Man, comics, read. No, I think that's it. That's all I had.
Fantastic.
but yeah, thank you for your time and everything, and definitely look forward to more issues of the ride coming out.
Well,
Do you have a website you want to plug?
Yeah, 12gagecomics.com. It's 12gagecomics.com. So check that out. That's got all our books on it. You'll love it.
We have a link to that, and also we have our previous interview with 12 Gauge, and they can go there if they forget to check with check Doug Wagner's for it. But you can find the ride there as well.
Well, thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.